What's going on today, guys? Trent here from Build On Moto. Today is the day we're finishing Hayden's bike. There's a few things that I did to it without you guys seeing. I just kind of finished putting on the plastics and this top here after we started it just to get closer. Today, I have to make sure that this bike is ready to rip for my brother who's heading to Ohio to kind of rip it. It's still some snow outside. It's still kind of garbage outside, and you can see how bright it is. But today's goal, get this bike going. We got to put the bearings in here. We've got to get the foot pegs on and a few small things like a skid plate, and we'll get into it. So let's go ahead. We'll get right into it and get rocking. Okay, it's looking like first thing first, we're going to try and tackle these bearings up here. These guys, I've got to press them out, and then I've got new ones that are going to go in. The reason we're changing them is this lower one down here had some issues. If you look back at a couple videos, I'll tag that up here in the corner. It had some issues, so we had to change them out. We got this powder coated, so I'm going to try and take it, clean out this top ring, pop them out, pop a new one in. I have a tool for that, so get rolling right into that. We're going to try and assemble this front end, get everything in, possibly get the forks on, and then we'll move on to other things like the grips. Then we'll go down here and we will get the skid plate on, and then the air filter. So at the end of this, we're going to try and set the sag and get everything set. So let's get rolling into it. Got some new tools here we're going to try out. This is for putting the races back in. That'll be it's kind of a bunch of different sizes for what you can put in there. And then this is the race knockout tool that I bought. And this should be able to knock those races out. So we're going to get into that here and get everything knocked out. I am pretty happy with how that worked. Knocked them right out. This tool works amazing. So one thing I'll always say is buy the correct tool. Here's the two races. You can see this one's kind of a little chewed up. Get you some better light there. A little bit chewed up there. Not terrible, but since we have them, we're going to replace them. And since he powder coated, I told him leave them in because it leaves a nice powder coat gap on them. And there's no issues with that. So we'll go ahead, we'll press in the new ones and continue on. So the tool that I bought can come apart. It's got plenty of different sizes here. The one that I'm choosing is this 50 millimeter. Fits on there really nice. It'll go nice and snug. Won't go too far. We'll be able to knock those races in. So I want to put it back together here. Toss this bolt in. Looks like a 10 or a 12 mil. We'll get that all tightened down, and we'll get over there and put this in the bike. Something to note when you're putting these in is you want to make sure that you get it as clean a surface and as flat in there as possible. You don't want to drive them in sideways or crooked. Otherwise, you could risk bending it. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to try and drive this dude in. It's going in pretty easy there. We're going to favor this side. Going in pretty nice there. I'm pretty happy with that. There's your hair. You can hear the evident difference from when it drives in, and that's all sealed. So we're going to go ahead and get that one. That one's all taken care of. We'll get the bottom one, and we'll get putting this triple clamp back together. Okay, I had a little bit of a pain in the butt getting in here. There was like a burr that kept catching, but I did get this sucker to settle. I'm not super happy with how it turned out with my tool, but everything's settled. It went in. There's no damage, and we're gonna continue on. Okay, so we're getting these triple clamps together. There's a seal here that goes on the bottom. And then one of these bearings slide down. I still have to pack these bearings. And then the way this system goes, there's a cap on top that kind of sits over everything, settles there. There's a seal underneath, a seal over top that goes underneath this dude. And that's how it kind of connects to the top clamp. So we're going to get all this together, get everything kind of put together, get everything cleaned up, pack these bearings, and go from there. Okay, so when you're packing a bearing, you want to kind of get a glob on the bearing. Get that glob in your hand. You kind of want to rotate it through. And the goal is not just to soak the bearing in it, but also to break the races free here. Get everything spinning. So you want to kind of pack the bearing grease into the center of the bearing here. And that's what the goal is. And by the time you're done with it, you'll have bearing grease seeping out of this thing, and that's the whole point. So we're going to get both taken care of. It took me a minute to learn it for a second because I don't remember how exactly it came off, but there's a seal underneath of this dude, then there's a seal under the clamp, and then everything comes together. Now we just got to torque that down, but you'll see that these are going to spin separately. It's because your forks are not in there right now. So we'll get everything torqued down. We're going to get the forks in, then I'll torque this top bolt when I have the handlebars and everything on it. So we're going to continue on there. Okay, for the most part, we've got the cockpit put together. The bars are going to have to be adjusted. We're going to have to play where all the wires set and settle, but we're going to go ahead and get these forks put in and get the front end assembled, get everything in where it belongs, and then we can finish up assembling all of this stuff. Like we can put him up where he belongs and get everything going. So we're going to go from there. Okay, so these require, they mark them on the clamps, but they're 12 Newton meters, which is about 8 foot-pounds. We're gonna go around, we're just gonna do the top and then do the bottom. It's gonna pop a lot of paint off here, but that's normal. There it is, 1, 2. Then we go to the bottom. Just check them out. 1, 2, then you go back to the top. 1, 2, back to the bottom. 1, 2. The reason that you don't wanna over tighten these is, especially these ones down here, it will pinch this and cause issues inside of the bike when these suspensions moving and flowing as it should. So you always want to be aware of how much you're putting on these as far as torque spec. And like I said, they're marked. This one is marked right there. Now it's a little covered with the powder coating, but we're going to go ahead and knock out all of these and get everything torqued down. Okay, so when it comes to a bike like this, what I like to do to set the front forks, there's a couple ways you can go about this. But as soon as I can get up on this without falling off, I like to take this and I like to compress the forks. Just kind of pound into them a little bit, and that helps reset the distance between those forks. We'll do it a couple times, and that'll be good. Now we can go on and we can go ahead and tighten down those bolts down there. Okay, with every new thing, there's a learning curve. This was the biggest pain in the butt to get on. I still got to put the pins in and stuff. But basically, I put this in about this far, just past this piece right here, shoved the spring down in, but killed my thumb, and then drove it through and got it to settle where it belongs. But it functions. But man, did that kill my hand. So we can kind of, you can kind of see how much of a pain that would be getting a spring into that small spot. We had to kind of pull this guy off and go around. Hey guys, Future Trent here. You'll notice that I am not saying the same thing as I am in the clip. I let my microphone die. So we're kind of going through this, but I want to show you guys the outcome of this, and I'll do a little bit of a video show here in a minute. But enjoy what you're seeing. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.